Hi, this is Kat, Sweet Cat Magic. Today's a very special day for me. I'm out at the Kilauea crater overlooking the world's most active volcano, Kilauea crater. And I came out here today to kind of just do some reflections and just going back to a time when I was first introduced to Madame Pele and Kilauea, and how that came about and what a role that this crater has played in my life. I counted it up. For 35 years we've had a relationship. And it was very interesting how it started, because it started when I was a young bride, and my husband and I had only been married about 6 months. He had just returned from one cruise. Most of our courtship was over military cruises, and so in for a month, gone for a month, in for a month, gone for a month, gone for 8 months, in for 2 months. We were married in between that, and then finally we were going to be our first assignment for when we're a young married couple in the Bay Area. He was stationed in Alameda off of the Enterprise for the commander group. And because I had never kind of gone away from home, he was trying to get assignment in the Bay Area so that I could at least still stay around familiar digs, because he knew whatever he'd be doing, he'd be going out to sea again. So he was assigned and put in for a ship that would be available, that I could stay in the Bay Area. And that ship happened to be an ammunition ship. And they name ammunition ships after volcanoes, or fiery things that blow up. And so he was assigned to the USS Kilauea. And he was executive officer, and what that means is that he was second in command. And so this was a little book from the cruise that he did. So first time I'd ever heard of Pele was when I saw this book, Pele's Pride. And there's a picture of Madame Pele, according to how the U.S. Navy interpreted her. And what was interesting is that my husband, as executive officer, they have what they call the wardroom, which is where all the officers dine. And when he had heard about the Kilauea and that, he had actually written the U.S. Park here and asked for a picture of Madame Pele to be hung in the wardroom. And so that was one of the very first introductions that we had to Kilauea. Now, he was assigned to it, and the very first words he wrote in this book, Madame Pele, the legendary Hawaiian fire goddess whose home is Kilauea crater. See, that's her home. Is named for a volcano. To symbolize its potential power and danger, an ammunition ship is more than machinery in gray steel. It's the result of nearly 400 men's effort to help keep 7th Fleet ships armed and ready for any need anywhere in the Pacific. And so there was the commanding officer, and then there he is. This is a very familiar look. Here he is inspecting troops. Anyway, so almost immediately they went to sea and were gone for 9 months. And here I am, a brand new bride. We've been together 6 months off and on. And now I'm the wife that's responsible for all the wives at home. And so it was kind of a daunting task for a brand new military wife to be in charge of all the older military wives. So it was a very, very interesting time. And I can remember I had to have several meetings and gather all the wives together. I was what they called the ombudsman, that if anybody needed anything emergency that needed to get in contact with the ship, they would contact me, because I could be able to get a hold of the ship. And I can remember one time getting this telephone call from a woman. I was in Concord at the time, and she was over in San Francisco. And I got this frantic call that she needed help. So I called her back to find out what kind of help she needed, because normally it's an emergency, child in the hospital, something like that. And she said she just didn't want to clean her house anymore, and she wanted me to come clean her house. And I remember thinking, no, that's not quite what my role is. At least I hope that's not my role is. Anyway, the reason why I'm doing this at this point is that yesterday's paper came out. And I'm going to pause and grab yesterday's paper. Okay, so here's yesterday's paper. And it says USS Kilauea sunk off of Kauai, Honolulu. The former USS Kilauea is the latest ship sunk as part of the Rim of the Pacific exercises in and around the Hawaiian Islands. The ammunition ship, commissioned in 1968, went down in water nearly 15,500 feet deep, 63 miles off of the coast of Kauai on Sunday morning. And Combined Forces Maritime Component Commander Commodore Stuart Meyer said, "The success reminds us yet again of the invaluable role of submarines play in modern warfare. And it allows the crews to gain proficiency in live firing." So after we read that last night, both my husband and I had kind of a reminiscing of that time, and what a time and role, and how important that Kilauea had played in our lives. I'm going to switch this around because the sun is now starting just to get a little bit into here. In just a matter of 5 minutes, look at that. So what we're looking at is Hale Mau, and that is where the actual home of what they consider Madame Pele's home. Anyway, as I was saying, it was interesting how we both shed a tear. And we thought, isn't that amazing that we're shedding a tear for a ship? And then we both thought about it, because I thought, I just didn't like the idea of her being used as target practice. And he said, well, better that than razor blades, which is what they sometimes turn old ships in, or just having her rust away. And then we realized that at least she went out with a purpose even at the end. So, I would just like to acknowledge both the Kilauea crater and definitely Madame Pele, because she has played a role in our lives. But the USS Kilauea, may she rest in peace. Part of the walk out to the Kilauea crater, everything's quite beautiful. And I want to try to take more videos of things around the Big Island, because it is kind of a special spot. Anyway, as I had said once before, the reason we came over here is I had been, we were living in Guam at the time. After he got off of the Kilauea, we went to Guam, and we were in Guam for 3 years, and then he got orders to Scotland. And I hadn't seen my mother for a while, and I found I could get a free hop on a plane and come over to Hawaii, and then I could fly her over. And my husband was going to be coming to Oahu for a conference. And so I came over whenever I could get the hop, which was about 3 or 4 days before he arrived. And I was talking to someone who said, well, you should go to the Kilauea military camp on the Big Island and go to the volcano, see the Kilauea volcano. And I said, but, oh, that's the name of the ship my husband was on, Kilauea. I said, oh, that would be fun if we could go see it. And he says, we would have needed reservations months ago. It's very, very hard. They have a long, long wait list. And so I just decided to take a chance. It was a Friday afternoon. And I called Kilauea Military Camp, see all the cute little cabins along the side here, and asked if they had any openings. And they said, well, you won't believe this, we just had a cancellation a few minutes before you called. So they said, so I could come in at night. So I told the person that told me I couldn't go because it was impossible. I said, I just got reservations at Kilauea. And he goes, well, that's all well and good, but you'll never be able to get an airline flight because people book Friday nights, inter-island, forget it. So I called the airline, and would you believe they just had a cancellation? I think it was the same people. And so we were able to get in. So when I met my husband at the airplane when he was coming in from Guam, I said to him, honey, I got reservations for us to go down to see Kilauea crater. And he was all excited because he remembered Kilauea. And so we came down that Friday night and we stepped off onto the ground. We knew that the Big Island was the place for us. Stained glass of the volcano. The entrance. And just how cute the cabins are. They have the cutest little cabins that you stay in. Each cabin has their own wood-burning stove. And on the back are beautiful stained glass windows. Kind of a magical place. You don't think of Hawaii as having a wood-burning stove. All the cabins have beautiful stained glass. Cabin. It's totally different. And it just keeps going and going. Rest in peace, USS Kilauea. If it weren't for you, we would never have come to the Big Island. So thank you.